I know, I can't either. It's 60% of our budget.
Hey, one county, one car, that's the way I had. I had to wake guys out of bed, to holding guys on the ground is done. Okay.
I'd hate to see them on the nights have only one guy in the car too.
Yeah.
But this is one car, one county. I mean, I believe it was the only car on it. I can remember those days.
I mean, I can't imagine not doing it, but it's 60% of our budget.
Yeah, I get it.
Good afternoon, are you ready, Jen? We are back and we have had our pledge and our moment of silence, so we're gonna call the roll, please.
Here.
I turned my mic on. Hello, come on. Commissioner O'Rourke,
Present.
Commissioner Rexroth,
Present.
Chairman Wessel,
Here.
Commissioner Ross. Here. Commissioner Elguyer. Here. Commissioner Lautner. Present. All present.
Okay, and this is a meeting to review and make recommendations on the vacancies to our boards and commissions. Decisions that we, or recommendations that we make today will go to the Tuesday's night board meeting for action. If you have public comment about the topic of committees or commissions, and you'd like to make public comment, please let us know. Back to public.
I'm Dr. David Quimby of Centerville Township. I'm hoping to get appointed to the Board of Public Health. I've been going to the meetings for the last several months. My background is I did my university medical school in England. My mother was English. My father was U.S. Air Force and was posted over there. Returned to the States in the early 80s. Did pulmonary, internal medicine, critical care, Grand Rapids and Henry Ford in Detroit. And for 20 years, I was doing pulmonary critical care in a physician-owned multi-specialty group in Grand Rapids. I was elected president of the company 6 years in a row. Our budget was approximately 160 million, and that was back in the early 2000s. So I think I've had some experience of budgets, meetings, regulations, et cetera, et cetera. My wife and I, she was the physician also, moved here full-time in 2011, and we have been year-round residents since then. I worked for months and for several years, part-time in their Manistee sleep department. I completely retired from practicing medicine 3 years ago, so I do have the luxury of time on my hands. And I would hope I have something to offer to Leelanau County and to the Board of Public Health.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for attending our meetings.
Yeah, it was helpful to me.
Any other public comments? Okay, Lauren, you're going to lead us through the process.
Yep, you bet. So I'm gonna have I have a couple more handouts. One is an application that just was on my desk yesterday, so it didn't have time to make it into your packet. And then the others are the complete listings of boards and commissions. So what you have in your binder, little binder, are only the ones that are up for citizen appointees. But when I was letting my brain run, I thought it might be helpful to see the entire list, just so you also know what's outstanding. So we'll go through group by group. All the applications are included, and hopefully thorough enough information in front of you to this. Great.
I like this. I like it.
Oh, thank you. Oh, and here's the application that didn't work. She has selected her interest in several different groups.
There's no work.
Yes, sir. I think there's one we have added this, which is the TTCI, the MVO. And that's the people involved in that right now will be Mitch Warner, Bingham, Supervisor Jeff Shaw, Road Commissioner. It goes down to the municipal planning, and our supervisor from Elmwood's involved, also our planner. And I attended the meeting last month, and the next meeting will be January 26th, and again, it's Elmwood and part of Bingham, and I believe that qualifies for,
And there's a citizen availability on TTCI.
Yes, it is. Richard, you've been on TPC.
Yeah, my recommendation is what you all have approved, that we, from the county,
right,
they get to pick what they want to pick. But us in the county, that it be a member of the board, be part of the policy committee. And then let your supervisor be the member to be on the technical committee.
Yes, sir.
Because technical committee does all the stuff and they make recommendations to the policy committee.
right,
So that's the recommendation for our two appointees.
right.
So you're saying we need a recommendation for a citizen for the,
Well, I represented as a board member last time.
That's all I think that we have.
That's all we have.
Yes.
But, so Mr. Robbins is gonna replace me because he lives in the area, or what?
That's up to the board.
Well, that's what I said, we need to add it to.
well,
But that'll be a
So
board,
this will be,
organizational meeting.
that's at the organizational meeting,
Right.
sir.
But I mean, we just got one, that's all?
That's it.
Okay.
so what is in front of you are the vacancies for citizen appointees that you can do, that you can make recommendations on today to move forward for next week. There will be a separate
For the board.
or at the org meeting for the commissioner appointees.
Okay,
And so on the application that is on the website for folks to go and fill out, TTCI currently is not on that. So that would be another thing. If there are errors, if there are committees missing or things that need to be edited, those we'll need to discuss and decide which committees need to be added to the application that's available for the public to fill out.
okay.
Okay, so the first document in your binder is the board policy on board appointments, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Can we look at page 4 on that?
Mhm.
Because we always do this in the first paragraph on page 4. It says to maximize opportunities for citizen participation, a citizen may normally serve on only one board, commission, committee, or authority. Further, a citizen can serve only 3 consecutive full terms. Now, we have waived that policy
Right,
out of need sometimes, but I think we've always agreed that we ought to try to do this. Maximize the number of citizens on committees and limit to 3 or less terms. And we don't normally take people off of committees if they're in their first term and been going and doing a good job.
okay.
So, thank you.
But you're right, we have some people who are on multiple boards, and we need to open up opportunities. We have a lot of people who want to serve right now, which is terrific.
I think that depends on the
It does.
committee and commission and board. There are a couple that you'll see as we walk through the packet that we need to make sure we're putting the word out or doing a better job advertising openings to get qualified folks to apply.
So to back up a little bit then, we're gonna look at the citizen appointees, but this board that Jim serves on right now, we could put him on as a citizen.
Yes, would you like to turn in an application?
Sure. But my term expires actually, the airport said that it actually expires in 2025 because it's a 3-year appointment.
We're not dealing with the airport today.
Oh,
We're
I'm
dealing
good.
with the airport on. the
I'm going there.
organizational meeting.
Right.
So you're saying you're gonna go into it at organizational, but Jim could be considered if he's already on it, that happened with Will once before.
Well changed.
We would
Yeah.
have to decide during the organizational meeting to do the same thing we did when Will left the
Okay.
board.
Okay.
But that was a board decision, the new board
But he
decision.
would be,
will have to
he
make
would be
that.
a citizen at that time, but done at that time, correct?
Right, and I do have notes when the board has decided to have a commissioner appointee finish their term as a citizen appointee. I do have notes on that, so that it can be brought up again with the board and say, this historically has been a commissioner or citizen, or vice versa.
Okay.
Can we just cruise right through? Okay. Page 7, this is probably the one that will require the most discussion from the board. Mr. Messer submitted his, not a resignation, but that he would not like to seek reappointment. And you'll see in the documentation behind his letter of expressing that he feels like that a commissioner appointee would be more appropriate for the area agency on aging, as well as the bylaws and a letter from Heidi, I believe, reiterating and reinforcing that desire and trajectory for the area agency on aging.
You know,
I met with him as well as the director of agency. This is when he made that request. All the other members that serve on there for this particular position are county board appointees. He felt like he was out of his realm to be able to do that. But there's also topics and issues that are going to be coming down the pike for the area agency. And it's going to be better, once again, for a county representative from this board to be on that committee. That's the recommendation that's came from both the director and from this individual.
could you clarify, because you said they were county board appointees, that
No.
doesn't mean they were
What
commissioners.
I'm saying, a county commissioner be on that board.
So
Someone
I was
from the board of commissioners to serve on that. So at the organizational meeting, somebody should be serving that's an elected official.
I went to about 3 or 4 meetings. And they were really, back then, looking for people who could drive to Manistee to help serve lunch, or I mean, they were looking for somebody who wanted to volunteer, and
That's not what I got.
I was recommended by Mary Cottaberger to join that board.
This is a board.
They were looking for a volunteer to go work.
That's not what this is about.
These are all commissioners from other
You will
counties.
be separate, you'll be serving.
That sure isn't what it was when I went there.
Well, that's sometimes,
So
I
maybe
don't know
it's
what
changed.
it has, but he was appointed to be on their board of directors. And he feels like you need to have an elected official on that board.
So I would
Same
suggest,
discussion.
that we take this to the organizational meeting, do the same thing that we're going to do with the airport authority. At that time, decide whether we make it a commissioner appointment or a citizen appointment.
And you
Give
do
first
have,
choice to-
you have one citizen application, one gentleman who expressed interest on serving on the board as a citizen appointee if the board chooses to go that direction.
Agreement there?
Yes.
Agreed. Cool.
Now we're to the Bay Area Transportation, and we don't have a vacancy. John's term doesn't expire.
The next vacancy is the Leelanau District Health Department Board of Health. Barb Conley, her term is ending. And you do have applications to consider from Dr. Quimby, as well as Dr. Laporte.
So I would move to appoint Dr. Quimby as our representative on the Board of Health.
It's like we move to recommend to appoint,
I
because
move to recommend to appoint Dr. Quimby to the support. And the reason is that Dr. Quimby has attended several meetings in the last year. So he's acquainted himself really well with the workings of the Board of Health, and that showed a real commitment that.
Any other discussion on that? All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved 6-0.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Kuhn. Go ahead.
The next opening is for the Environmental Health Board of Appeals. Don Barrows would like to seek reappointment, but we have, I guess we don't have an appointment then. Well, actually, we still have to decide, right? Even if Mr. Barrows wants to seek reappointment? Okay.
So is he on any other boards?
Yes, I think so. Let me see. List. Might have to run and grab my other big list. Actually, I don't think that he is.
He's the only applicant.
Yes, he's the only applicant.
Where's
Mr. Barrows.
we've got Robert Laporte, Dr. Laporte.
He,
He signed it. Oh, he did?
no, he did not.
He didn't.
Yeah,
I had an email.
Appeals, not that, yeah.
I had an email saying if you would like to consider, put your name in, but I haven't heard from him.
Okay, my mistake. Okay. Do I have a recommendation?
I would move to recommend Don Barrows be reappointed to the Leelanau Environmental Health Board of Appeals.
Or
All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved 6-0.
Okay.
Just as an aside, because we keep sliding this in, I talked to Dr. Laporte and I said, thank you for applying, but we do have somebody who's come to meetings for almost a year, and he understood.
Okay.
Right.
Next one's Brown.
The next is Brownfield. Dan Hines and David King both have expiring terms. David King does wish to seek reappointment. Dan Hines does not. So the board would need to decide about Mr. King, and then there is a vacancy. And the applications are behind. So we have applications from Christopher Logan, who I believe is here, and Kathy, I can't pronounce her name.
Dawkins?
No, Wojcicka. Wojcicka. Okay, thank you.
So I would like to say I'm on that board, and Dan King is now on both Brownfield and Land Bank. He is an attorney, so he's a valued contributing member, so I would.
serve just one term.
Yes, and I believe he stepped in the middle of a term, if I'm remembering right. He was taking over in the middle of a term, and his land bank term is not up yet.
In fact, it wasn't even in the middle. He's been to like 2 or 3 meetings.
Yeah,
he has those meetings.
Been on here since I've been here.
Well, he was, but he just started coming to Land Bank.
Well, I know, that's what I'm saying. He got appointed after my arrival, so he's been here less time than I've been here.
Mhm.
It's scary.
So are you did you make a motion on that one?
Yes, I would move to recommend that Dan King be reappointed.
David King.
David King be reappointed to the Brownfield Development Authority.
Good.
We have a second?
Support.
Typically, we do a both, so did you want these separated then when you're?
I'm separated
Typically-
because we haven't, do we have a second person?
We're
Who was the
gonna have to do a
second
second,
person?
but we gotta do this one
Okay,
first. yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just, in years past, it's all in one, so reappoint so-and-so and appoint so-and-so. So I guess just let me know if you're gonna split it.
We're gonna
If you have,
split it.
if you have two, then I need to make two motions. Okay, so you're splitting this one up. Okay.
Yes.
And who was the second on this one? I'm sorry.
I was,
Rookie.
Thank you.
All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved 6-0. Now, second member, Commissioner Lautner.
Yes, I would recommend that we reappoint Christopher M. Logan to that seat, the second seat.
All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved 6-0.
Yeah,
Fine.
I'd like to spend a little more time discussing
Okay,
qualifications, but we can.
so you got that one?
Yes.
So we'll slow down a little bit.
Yeah, because we have qualified, I was
Yeah.
very impressed with the qualifications for people who apply.
And Amber's here, so I suspect she has some advice for us, Lauren, on this.
Yes.
So John Aaron's is staying on, is that?
Oh, you know what? We have one more. You're right. So no, John Aaron's is not staying on. So we have one more. I apologize. I thought I had fixed that in your packet. So,
With no applications.
well, there's applications in your packet. So you have Christopher Logan, Kathy Wojcicka, and Kathy Dawkins.
Well,
She's listed several.
she has spent her whole life in construction.
Kathy?
Yeah, her husband's a builder. Oh, well, she's a nurse though. No, but she's a builder and she's worked with her husband for his whole career.
Then it says, okay, no. She wants
So I just have to clarify, we're still on Brownfield filling the third.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I had just gotten that email that John Aaron's resigned.
Yeah, so
Commissioner Lautner?
So we can do 3 people?
Yes.
I would recommend Kathleen with Jessica. She hasn't served anything else before, right? I know she's had applications in for a long time.
Support.
Any discussion on that?
No, I think she.
All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved 6-0.
So we have 3 people here now?
Yep.
Yes.
So Chris Logan, Kathy, and who?
David King
Oh,
to reappoint and 2 new appointments.
And now the Construction Board of Appeals.
So I just wanted to note, it looks like Steve Hoskins submitted an application again. He's actually already on the board and he's on through 2028. So I think that one might have been in your packet. There should actually be just 3 candidates.
Yep, so I have Thomas Vershave. Am I saying
Julia
his-
Spunnick.
Yep,
I think they're great. I would recommend, which category could, he's electrical, correct?
Tom, I don't believe is. I think he's plumbing and mechanical or just one or the other. I can't recall
Okay.
offhand.
Yeah.
If he qualified for it, I recommend we put Tom on.
Any discussion?
What are the choices? Wait, really fast.
he's working now.
Yeah.
so
How many openings are on this?
there are
There's
2.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a gentleman that did not want to be reappointed to the electrical division. So I have, actually this year I have more plumbing mechanical guys than ever in the past, but Julia Spunnick can also do electrical. The other 2 are primarily plumbing and mechanical.
We have Scott Earl, so we haven't even looked at it here.
Yeah. So who was the last person you did?
Tom Vershave. Tom Vershave. Is that what you're asking about?
So he's not even on the list.
Yes, his application is there,
On page 66.
66, and it also is included within EDS because he's been considered by Amber and the Construction Board of Appeals for quite some time. So you have Thomas Vershave, Julia Spunnick, disregard page 73 to 75, because he's already on it. And then, or I'm sorry, through 76, and then Scott Earl on page 77,
And how many are you looking for total?
2.
And you're looking for expertise in different areas also, right? I mean,
Yeah, so I have a vacancy in the electrical division at this time.
And
Which-
that's Julia.
Which Julius would have more experience than the other ones would, but Tom or Shade would probably be a good choice on the HVAC side.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna combine this one and make a motion, is there a motion on the table already? I'm sorry.
We have one motion, a motion by Lautner to recommend to appoint Tom Verche.
And I think I support that. or-
Yep.
Okay.
All those in support of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved 6-0.
Then I would move to appoint Julius Bonnet as well.
Support.
Discussion.
He brings to you electrical and the plumbing mechanical. He
And he's
brings
got
you
a wide
everything.
one, right?
Yeah.
And hard work.
All those in support of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved 6-0.
Thank you. Amber.
Thank you.
We have
Thanks,
the
Amber.
land bank- Thanks, Amber. We have the land bank.
Land bank, this is gonna be a discussion again about putting the word out. We have one opening, Richard Foster, and no applications.
Okay, so we do need to put the word out on that.
How does that work? How has that worked in the past? If you have an opening,
We can just
We can add it.
re-advertise
okay,
or solicit applications, either, you know, way.
Yeah, we just need to go out again.
Okay, so and we skipped over the Housing Action Committee because that is a planning commission committee. And that'll go to the planning commission in January for whatever decisions they want to make. And the Energy Futures Task Force is,
Do we do personally?
we're not there yet. We're almost
I'm
there.
not there yet, no.
Oh, wait.
we have not agreed that that would continue, so we'll go past that. The Leland Dam Authority, we have 2 vacancies.
And the one that's in order.
No, Dam Authority,
I guess you're following this one, and usually look at what we're doing. Because the flip-
Dam Authority, we do not have openings to consider. One is the Drain Commissioner and the other is a Road Commissioner, a Road Commission appointee. So they're not on the list.
Automatic. Yeah.
No, that's a question I have. For the road commission, don't you need to approve their recommendation to you? So that one's going to be under for your approval.
At which meeting?
Send us a candidate.
They did.
They sent Gareth Greenland, so that should go on our list to
They-
approve.
Their recommendation is Aaron, they sent this back once.
Yep.
They want the individual.
I guess I thought that that went on the board meeting to approve that, or is that this meeting?
This is all part of the appointment process,
Okay,
which it will be on the board meeting next week.
And Mel Black for the person.
And it was Mel.
And
Black,
Garth
the
Greenan.
Representing them.
To
So-
stay on the
Yeah,
damn.
so I always thought that, okay, this is their recommendation, you can approve the recommendation or not. The drain commission is not optional.
Right.
Whoever that is, that's who it is, so.
okay, so that's my error with my being new at this. So then we make a motion then for the Dam Authority, or how does that work?
It's a dam authority.
Well, so Dam Authority was new. The Dam Authority was set up and it was chosen by the Board of Commissioners as to how to fill it. And then the Board of Commissioners chose the people to sit in these seats. But I'd have to look it up. I don't remember that you have to approve who the road commission.
A motion
They
to approve
recommend
the
somebody.
recommendation from the road commission.
We did last time.
Let's just do it as a.
They recommended somebody, we approved it.
Right.
That's probably how we're going to do it.
I mean, for following, I think we're going through this sheet for the order, just for,
Okay, I see that now.
so if you're on that, Leland Dam Authority on this page, then you're going through, everyone's in the same order, and then going back to this book to look at resumes. So-
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll do that differently next time.
Okay,
No, it works
so-
fine, it's just that we're all on the same
So
page.
the Leland Dam Authority, I just want to make sure I'm following this. The road commission would like to reappoint Garth
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
We need a
So I need a
motion for this.
motion for that,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
I
So
move,
moved.
yeah, so move to, sorry, I'll support the so move to accept the recommendation of the county, of the road commission. Guard, clean it.
So I have Rexrow and I have Alfire, right?
Yes.
Did we get a second to that?
Yep, Alfire.
Yes.
Okay. All those in support of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved 6-0.
Then do we do the same thing for the drain commissioner or do we
He's
wait?
automatic.
That's automatic. Okay.
It's just, it's,
Okay. All right.
then you got material from any.
So the next one in your packet is Parks and Rec, but it was brought up that we should discuss the Northwest Regional Airport Authority, just because there had been a movement from a commissioner appointee to a citizen appointee. And I do have applications from citizens interested, but I don't know that we have a citizen vacancy. So that's,
So we'd have to take this to the board meeting and the organizational meeting and decide at that time if we want to have a commissioner and one citizen or 2 citizen and 1 commissioner.
because as it stands right now, you have 2 citizens and a commissioner, but that's not historically how it was. You decided to do that when Will Bunnick left the board and he was no longer able to serve as a commissioner appointee, but was a citizen. It was decided to leave him on as a citizen appointee.
And the bylaws of the authority give us the authority to decide whether we have 2 commissioners or 1 and 2 citizens or 1.
But needs to be done at the organizational meeting,
Right.
needs to make that decision.
Mhm.
Right, Jim?
Yes, sir. I have no objection to being the citizen at large since I've been on that board for 2 years.
Submit us your request.
Yes, sir. Well, it's for the record, I mean.
So where are we now?
Parks and Recreation, page 81. So there's
One of
the binder, the
the books there.
So both Keith Badoon and Charlie Godbout both wish to seek reappointment, which if approved by the board means there are 2 vacancies. One by Don Frericks, who has decided to retire, and then 1 vacant at-large citizen position.
So, Charles has served how many terms?
So on that next page, let me find him.
Eligible for 1 more, right?
He is eligible. Well, I don't know that he, according to this, like this looks like a 3-year term to me.
It is, so his 3-year term is up.
No,
Well,
it's 3 3-year
Three
terms.
3-year terms.
Oh, okay.
But
So he's eligible.
So
been
he,
on 6?
Oh,
How many
he's-
years?
that's-
no,
This will be his 4th.
These are.
Oh, he's just still in his just finishing his first term. Okay,
Mhm.
so they are both.
they're both eligible.
Yes, okay. So that leaves Don Frericks' position and another vacant position.
Yes,
We probably first have to accept the people that want to read, I mean, don't we have to.
Yeah, I would
Motion
say,
for Badoon and
I would, yeah,
to start with,
support that motion.
so.
For Badun and Charles.
So moved.
Hang on.
Support.
Okay, so we are reappointing Godbout, right?
Yeah.
And Badun.
Okay,
Support that motion.
thank you.
And
So
what do
then we
have?
still have 2 openings.
We still
Mhm.
need to vote on. the motion
You're
first.
going to accept, you want to make a motion to accept the recommendation from the road commission of Mr. Mel Black.
No. Oh, well, let's finish this one first.
Let's, yeah, we haven't voted on them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we need to at least vote on the Badoon and
All those in support of Verdun and Charles,
Aye.
aye.
6-0, approved.
Okay.
So now,
And then we have 2 citizens. to select, correct?
And to approve the road commission
Yeah.
recommendation.
That's the citizens first.
Do I have a motion for the road commission? Get that out of the way.
Oh, I would recommend we appoint Mel Black.
Or
All those in support of that motion, say aye. Motion approved.
Jennifer, I would write the same way you wrote it for the other one that came from the road commission, for the recommendation.
So we're on Parks and Rec, back on Parks and Rec again?
So we have two more
So-
citizen.
Yes, and several applications.
So we've already appointed Logan and Bunnick to other things.
Mhm.
So I would suggest Rebecca Benedict, who applied for several things. And Jim Carpenter. I don't think either one have ever been on any of our boards.
You also have Kathy Dawkins, who turned in hers yesterday.
Let's do these one at a time. So you've got a motion to support.
Rebecca Benedict, do you want to do one person at a time?
So that we can vote, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Support.
hang on a
So-
second.
Discussion on Rebecca.
Okay, so you're having her take her motion back and just do that there.
Yep.
Okay, and who's seconding that one?
I am.
Okay, great.
And which position are you putting her in?
Parks and Rec.
No, I'm sorry. Further, we have two openings.
They're both at-large citizens. One would have, well, one would be filling a term that ends December 31, 2026, and the other would be ending 2027.
That's what I'm asking. So which one do you want her in?
26 or 27?
In 27? Do the 27.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay,
Got
and
that,
that's
Jen?
agreeable with Ross,
Yes.
okay?
All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, 6-0.
And you're on that board, so do you have another suggestion?
So that Jim Carpenter sounded really interesting.
I don't know Scott Earl at all. I know Jim Carpenter and I know Kathy.
Carpenter's name came up.
Yeah, I would move
I know
that Jim
Scott.
Carpenter be appointed to the Parks and Rec.
Okay, so I
He did
just want
work
to make
in
sure everything's
environmental
right.
education, so I think that's a nice asset.
He would be the different term,
26.
so he's filling a partial term,
Correct.
and when does that end?
And December 31, 2026.
21 or 31?
December 31.
Okay, so-
This is for Carpenter, right?
Yep. Okay, seconded by Lautner.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Yep.
All those in support of Jim Carpenter to the Parks and Recreation for the term ending in 2026.
26.
Say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, 6-0.
One other little side point, Mr. Casey Noonan, you probably haven't gotten the Parks and Rec Commission, but he's requested, he does not want to be reappointed to that particular board. So the Parks and Rec Commission will have to send a recommendation to this board to fill that slot.
Planning Commission will probably.
Planning
recommend
Commission,
someone
yes,
or Parks and
yes.
Rec, you know.
I'm just giving you a heads up,
Yep.
that's all. You don't have to. be-
And that happens in January,
Whenever
presumably?
the Parks and Rec
Yeah.
Commission, but they know they have.
Might take till February before you get them.
Probably
By the
will.
time they all meet.
Okay.
And now we're down to the Planning Commission.
We're taking these separately.
Move to recommend Lois Bailey and Scott Heiser. Rose Point.
How many vacancies do we have?
Mel Black has expressed interest in reappointment. He is obviously on the road commission as
He's on
well.
several boards at this point. We're trying to spread this out.
Lois, who was your second name? I'm sorry, Glenn, who's your second name?
Lois Bailey and Scott Heiser.
But which, you have categories, so.
Either is economics or finance.
Do I have a second? For Bailey and Kaiser?
Well, we gotta look at, let's take them one at a time and look at which category.
Well, I listed all of the people and we've appointed Rebecca Benedict and Chris Logan already.
Okay,
So that leaves, Mel Black's still on there. That leaves Lois and Scott. I wrote down This morning I wrote down all the people who were applied for that, because there were so many, it seemed like.
Okay, well then let me recharacter it. So I think what we're looking for is we're looking for a recreational character and a financial.
So you're recommending Lois Bailey for recreation and Scott Heiser for finance?
Sure, yes.
Let's do that one at a time, just stay consistent.
Okay, so,
Would you pull your motion and
yes, I would recommend Lois Bailey. I move to recommend Lois Bailey for the planning commission,
Recreation category,
recreation category.
Thank you.
support.
That's not on anything else. She's not
Yeah,
on
she is.
recycling.
She's on
Is she on
solid waste council.
solid waste? That's what I was thinking. She's already on something. We have another one?
No, there's nobody else.
No,
Well, Kathy Dawkins.
She's got planning.
She didn't select planning.
She didn't select planning, no.
So there's her. So then we're gonna only have those two. Yeah, we only have two people left to have.
Okay.
Unless you want to double load somebody else on the low list.
We got a motion and
we got a motion and a second. All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, 6-0. Motion for Scott Heiser, Quinn?
Yes, I would move to recommend that Scott Heiser be appointed to the planning commission in the economics support slot.
Financial.
Finance category.
Finance, okay.
All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, 6-0.
And did we agree to reappoint Mel Black? Did I miss that?
We did not.
I would move to
Oh,
recommend.
I thought you did. I thought you made a motion.
No, I don't have a motion on
Okay, I'm
that.
sorry.
Mel is on the road commission,
I
the
thought you were gonna do.
land bank,
I thought you,
and the Parks and
you
Rec.
I don't think
did
he's on
the
land
Parks
bank.
and Rec for road commission on, for Mel Black,
Yes.
but not planning commission for Mel Black.
He's not on the land bank.
Well, he's on the dam authority.
No, he's not.
No,
Garth Greenan's on.
no.
No.
Parks and Rec is Mel.
Yeah, Garth Greenan's on the dam authority. I know.
Right.
Garth Green.
So do we need to advertise then for that third slot?
Well, is Heiser?
Yeah.
Real estate at all?
What's wrong?
Banking, insurance, financial planning.
He's set for finance, so, okay.
I think maybe.
Well, you don't have anyone else with specific experience. I mean, those are related. I mean, I would put them in under that category.
What is the third seat? What's the category?
Legal real estate. The one
Legal.
that Mel Black is
Yeah.
seeking reappointment for is legal and real estate.
Those things are related to his experiences outlined, and he probably qualified for finance, but I think he's probably do a fine job under, legal, not Mel, but the Heiser. I mean,
Is that a motion?
yes, so moved to appoint Heiser to
No, we
the.
already did that.
Yeah, you're
Heiser.
Heiser.
We
We're
did
looking at
Heiser.
Mel
Oh,
Black.
geez.
Do we want to put Mel Black
Yeah, sorry,
on a second board?
didn't have that crossed off. So now we're deciding whether to reappoint Mel Block or not.
Mhm.
Now confusion.
Yeah. Did Mel
Does
Black
Kathy
get
Dawkins
appointed?
did that?
He did.
She doesn't have. it.
Yeah, no,
We don't have another candidate, so we need to consider reappointment Mel Black.
How many is he on now?
He was,
That'll be the third, right? Yeah.
No, the second.
yeah, I only have him, currently I only have him on Parks and Rec that you've appointed in this meeting.
Well,
You have something else?
he was appointed to the road commission a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, so road commission,
Yep.
Parks and Rec here, and planning commission if the board decides to reappoint him.
Be a second.
Yeah, but his appointment of the road commission wasn't by this body, and our appointments, that's another.
That's the road commit, right.
So it would only be his second position under the office. So I moved to appoint Mel Black to the planning commission real estate category.
He does a good job.
Support. So, yeah.
All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, 6-0. Waste or soil erosion.
This is another one that is interesting. So Eric Lind would like to seek reappointment. Victor Goldschmidt, no. I didn't receive any new applications until, Kathy Dawkins selected soil and erosion and left that on my desk. And that's one of those, one of the categories where there hasn't been a ton of applications and interest.
Partly because
They never do
they
it.
never, almost never meet.
Mhm.
Could I have a motion for Eric Lynn?
Yes, so moved.
Support.
All those in support of Eric, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved 6-0.
Okay, which one are we on now?
I can.
Soil erosion.
Since Kathy put it down,
Is that a motion?
yeah, I would like to move to appoint Kathy Dawkins to the soil erosion.
Any discussion? All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved 6-0.
Okay, so that one hardly ever meets, so we need to be able to appoint her to something that does meet too.
Wow, that's tough.
All right.
Do we need anyone else that completes soil erosion that?
That's it for soil and erosion.
So we have solid waste council.
Yeah, solid waste. So this is a larger board. Here are the notes that I have. Lois Bailey, her term is expiring. I didn't hear back from her about seeking reappointment.
Put her on what,
We just put her on planning.
planning?
So that is open. Kathleen Kavanaugh does not wish to seek reappointment, so that is open.
She's up.
Andrew Gale would like to seek reappointment. Thomas Peterson would like to seek reappointment. Carrie Sharp does not seek reappointment. So that is,
Two.
Can we?
Well, to back up, now Andrew Gale, how many terms has he served?
let me find him.
Are you talking Andrew Gale? We really need him on there because.
I'm getting there, but I'm making a point.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, so Andrew Gale has, I don't know all the colors on this. I'm assuming that it means consecutive terms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
just want to make us aware that he has served several terms, but he does bring the whole recycling industry to the board. So he's very important on there, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we should.
Yeah, I would move to, which goes against our bylaws or our rules, so I just want to make that aware, but I would make a motion to reappoint Andrew Gale.
Support.
All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved 6-0.
And I don't think we should hold that, his position of that to the same standard as everyone else.
That's why I
because
make a
No, that
motion,
should
it
make-
can't be.
So in the future,
Certain expertise there that you
Yeah.
can have that for when you have a wealth of.
Well, it comes
knowledge in
about,
the
if
subject
you've
area.
got somebody, in that business that applies in the future, it would be the time to give us somebody else the opportunity, but we just don't have anybody else right now.
We have a motion to approve Tom Peterson.
So moved.
Support.
How many terms has he done? One. All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved 6-0.
So we're down two then, right?
Three.
So there's 3
Yeah,
openings.
that's right. If Lois doesn't want it.
So
So Kathy Dawkins did apply. And
Second.
let's see who else.
yeah, but the first one doesn't count because it never meets.
And I didn't receive any applications specific to solid waste other than Kathy.
I move to appoint Kathy Dawkins.
Move to recommend.
Move to recommend Kathy Dawkins.
Support.
All those in support of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
So now we're down two, right?
down to,
So there's 2, yeah, there's 2 vacancies.
Okay, so I think in this sense, I think Lois Bailey has a lot of time on this board as well, doesn't she?
Well, she might be our.
But she didn't answer, is she?
Let's see.
I suggest we hold this open and go out for
I do too.
applications and encourage Lois to apply if she's interested.
This will be the end of her second or third.
End of her third.
Yeah, so,
Oh, okay.
See,
I agree with the recommendation, Chair.
Okay,
So you have consensus to advertise for 2, is that what it is?
And we're advertising for one other earlier?
Yeah, earlier, yeah. I'll put that in there.
Okay, which was what board?
and the last committee we have is the Veterans Affairs, and I'd like to speak to
Land bank, it was land bank.
Steve Stanton, who's a Vietnam vet, takes that role so
very serious.
so seriously, and he does a nice job. He is interested in being reappointed.
I'll move to reappoint Steve Stanton.
Support.
Veterans Affairs.
All those in support of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, 6-0.
Okay,
Where are we now? The end.
the end, that's it.
Yeah.
So that was, fast and furious, and it gives me a lot of guidance as to how to structure this for next year. And I'll clean up this sheet and get everything ready for the next steps. What are the next steps? We talk about it next.
I think we need to reach out to Networks Northwest and get their recommendations for workforce development, and then we have to approve it.
Okay.
I just think has to be better advertised. The only thing was that thing, right? I mean, I just think that.
What would be better advertisement?
More in depth, like a little bit, like a paragraph of each committee.
Or like the Leelanau ticker,
Yeah, it needs more,
or even Facebook. I mean, it sounds a lot, I don't,
just nobody really.
maybe in a more.
Yeah, so,
Okay,
yeah.
Well, Lauren, you did a nice job. Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren.
So when you want the applications in here?
I mean, I don't know that we can put a deadline on it. I don't know that we can put a deadline on it.
It'll also help us to practice a little bit, how to do a different type of advertising.
Yeah, just think,
And
just
say,
make
well,
it look
we'll let this
sexy.
be done. But it's gonna be the next board that's gonna deal with that.
Right.
I suggest we put a deadline so that we can appoint these at the first board meeting in January, the new board can appoint.
Well,
But that might be really difficult,
No, I think-
holidays and stuff.
no,
I think it puts,
I think that's gonna be, because your first meeting is gonna be the 7th, so.
It's just a couple, it's not.
It's not just a couple, but it gives us a chance to,
Okay,
with that suggestions you had, that would be a great way to see how we can do that with a little paragraph, what this does. Come up with it. Then you can let us know.
well, thank you, Lauren. We're
Thank
now at
you.
the point where we have public comment. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to make public comment? Volunteer for the solid waste council?
And everyone took one step backwards. So,
Sometimes they're related. Any commissioner comments?
Yeah, the next step.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We will reconvene at 1:00, 10, 1:05. 1:05?
There's a link sometimes. That was fast and furious. Oh. That's all. I like. I appreciate it. So let me get my hair here and see those.
We were asking about an application.
Application installation.
Oh, okay. no worries. So just
And
wanted-
and-
Wrap up here.
and solid waste.
I've always wanted to serve on. Serve on solid waste.
Oh,
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. So I got a lot.
Well, this represents a midpoint of the day, because